In a small coastal town on the east coast of the United States where gray clouds hung over the waves, there was an old legend about the ghost of a lost sailor. His name was Jack Harris, and he had gone to sea many years ago, but never returned. Every night, as the moon lit up the murky waters, the residents heard strange sounds that resembled screams and rustles. A local old man named Bob claimed to have seen Jack's ghost on the rocks where he once fished. It was said that the sailor's soul found no rest and wandered in search of his vessel. One day, a group of teenagers, Emma, Ryan, and Lisa, decided to find out the truth. They went to the old pier where Jack was rumored to appear most often. The night was dark and windy. The teens, armed with flashlights, were walking along the creaky wooden planks when suddenly the wind picked up and their flashlights began to flicker. "It's just the wind," Emma said, but her voice shook with fear. Suddenly they heard a sound like footsteps. Ryan, trying to cheer his friends up, said, "It's probably just rats. Let's take a look." They walked closer to the edge of the pier and peered into the dark waters. Suddenly a pale hand holding a rusty anchor appeared out of the depths. It was Jack's hand. His face was contorted with horror, and his eyes full of sorrow stared at them. "Help me," whispered the ghost. His voice was like a whisper in the wind. The teenagers stepped back in horror, but Lisa, shocked, said, "We have to help him." She reached out her hand toward the ghost, but at that moment a strong gust of wind knocked her off her feet. The ghost seemed to weaken and its form began to blur. "You need not be afraid," Jack said, his voice growing quieter. "I'm lost in these waters. Help me find my way home." With horror and dismay, the teenagers realized that only they could help this unfortunate spirit. They decided that they must perform the ritual the next day to free his soul. The next morning when they returned to the pier, the waves were crashing on the shore as if trying to stop them. With the help of the old priest, they performed the ritual, and the moment the last spell was cast, Jack reappeared. "Thank you," he said, and his face lit up with serenity before he vanished into thin air, leaving only a light sea breeze. From then on, the town never heard from the ghost of the lost sailor again, and Emma, Ryan, and Lisa always remembered that night when fear and compassion were intertwined in one mystical moment.